Well, folks, how's doing? What's the crack? Just gonna put this video out just to clear a few things up. So if you can bear with me. Just firstly regarding my Rebel Sundays show, the live show doing a Sunday. It's gonna be back again next Sunday, the 10th of April. I haven't had a guest on for a few weeks now. Just the way sort of things fell, and stuff was happening on the show. I hadn't really time to fit a guest in. So yeah, we're back next week with a guy who I've been trying to get on the show from that I started doing the live interviews, but never had an opportunity. So yeah, next week's guest is going to be Liam Lappin, cracking Rebel singer, very well known Rebel singer from County Armagh. So really looking forward to having Liam on the show as next week's guest. So tune in for that next Sunday, 1 to 4. Liam will be on screen live at about 2 o'clock. So we will. Right, so basically the main reason for doing this video today is I want to clear a few things up just regarding why I sort of decided to take the show off the air for a few weeks, and obviously then the sort of elephant in the room about the cancellation of the big fans gathering event, because I think I just need to clear a few things up regarding that there, because I've heard a few wild conspiracy theories over this last week or so. So I have some that are just out there, like, and some that sort of annoyed me a wee bit, you know. So firstly, the reason for taking the show off the air for a few weeks, I think I just needed to have a wee bit of a break, folks, from it. More do with my sort of confidence. It might look like I go on do that show every week, sit there 3 hours in front of all usings, and have thousands of people watching, and more people watching later on during the week on YouTube and stuff, whatever. And I can be the happiest, happy-go-lucky person sitting there having a bit of crack and all. But I mean, I'm also a human being. At the end of the day, I have feelings and thoughts, and might not always show it there on screen, so I mightn't, but they are there, you know. So the main issue was, obviously you all know that I put up a PayPal link on the show for anybody that wants to donate to, if they're enjoying, basically, I'll say it during the show, if you're enjoying watching the show today, if you're liking the entertainment I'm putting on, whatever it is, just drop us a wee donation, and there's no pressure on nobody to do anything. But I'm entirely grateful for everyone that gives me a regular bank transfer every single week, or gives me a regular PayPal donation. You know, I always mention at the end of the show, so thank you to all users, the regular listeners. But say there's no pressure on anybody to donate anything to the show. But after what maybe over the last month, so watching the sort of comments on Facebook coming through, and it seems to be from the sort of a few, every time it's always from somebody with like a no profile picture, or like a no sort of name as such, and they're commenting with sort of stuff like, who do you think you are, charging people to play Irish Republican music? Like, you have a cheek and this kind of thing, and you're using our dead volunteers' names to gain financial gain for yourself. And then again, when I was over in Scotland there a few weeks ago, for the weekend, doing the gigging, I was speaking to a few people in some of the bars I was in, and that was the sort of vibe I was getting from a few people. I spoke to a few people that sort of give me sort of backhand information, more or less saying this, like, geez, I heard this here, such and such was sort of saying that there, I seen that there in that comment. And then a few people did speak to me about it. They were going, hey, we love your show and all, it's class and all, but like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you have some cheek charging people money to watch what you do. We love what you do and all, whatever. You're going, right, so what's the issue you have? Like, well, I mean, you're sitting there, all you're doing is sitting pressing a few buttons, playing songs other people have written, and you're charging people for it. And my thing was, for one, I don't charge people. There's a voluntary donation there. If you want to make a voluntary donation, more or less for me to run the show, that's what the money is for. It's not free for me to run that show every Sunday. It does cost me a considerable amount of money every single week to run that show. All the software I have to pay for, everything else that goes with it. It's been in my pocket, I have to pay for it, you know. And I took the decision a long time ago to stop doing regular gigs on a Sunday, and I was going to commit to doing the show every week, Eugene all committed to being there every week to watch the show, so I made the big commitment to do the show every week. I was going to give up my gigs on a Sunday, so I say I'm losing a day's wage every week. So the few donations that I do get every week, it helps along that there. Plus, it helps to pay for the software and stuff that I need to run the show. So while standing in this here bar talking to this guy, there was somebody actually up singing, you know what I mean? And I was like, do you think that guy ever standing there doing that for free? No, of course he's getting paid. Who's paying him? Well, obviously the bar's probably paying him. Did you pay him today? No, it's free in here. The bar, so that guy is getting paid by the bar, obviously. So what is the difference between me doing a gig, going out and doing a gig, or a promoter booking me to come out and do a gig and standing on stage playing rebel music, or a band, a singer standing on stage playing rebel music? What is the difference in that and what I am doing on a Sunday? Sitting in a studio for 3 hours, doing a 3-hour show, doing a similar kind of thing. What is the difference? Oh, there's a big difference. Well, but they kept saying, well, what's a big difference? And I was, well, what is the difference? There is no difference. Only thing is, I'm not charging people. I'm just asking people if they want to leave a donation. They're more than welcome to, and it's much appreciated. So that was sort of, it gave me a bit of a knock that there, so of seeing that there, and it sort of was like, it definitely, my confidence took a wee bit of a kicking. Sort of hearing them comments sort of one too many times, you know. So I was having all sorts of thoughts of look, listen, maybe I should will I just jack the show in completely, or will I like rebrand it? Will I take the PayPal off completely? Will I start playing a bit of folk music instead of rebel music? What I'll do, you know? So I was thinking, and then obviously I got the phone call I think it was last Friday, from the Balmoral Hotel to say that they were pulling out of my event, the Big Fans Gathering, and that was like the final sort of nail on my coffin, to say, of my head being just completely melted, and my stress levels going through the roof, my anxiety levels going through the roof. I just sort of said, listen, I need to take a break from this. I don't want to be doing the show. I don't want to be like having to go and explain myself. I've felt like I've failed people. I've let people down. You know, I just didn't want to have to do that there. So that's why I made the decision to take the show off the air for a few weeks. But so it's going to be back next Sunday. I'm glad to be back, and hopefully you'll all join me. So now, probably the main reason I'm doing this video today. Sorry for the long it's taken, but I just want to get these things out in the open. So I made the very, very hard decision to pull the plug and cancel the Big Fans Gathering. It should have took place this December, 2nd and 3rd December, and the 4th of December as well, in the Balmoral Hotel and in the Rock Bar. It was going to be a great weekend, so it was. The work I put into that, folks, you would not know. The work went into getting that weekend planned, and so it wasn't an easy decision for me to say I was going to cancel the event, but ultimately that is what happened, and it had to happen, and I'll explain to you why then. So I just want to get right back to what the Big Fans Gathering was all about, just in case there's people that didn't go last year or were thinking of going this year or bought tickets for this year, didn't go last year. So obviously last year's one, it was born out of a conversation on the show between regular listeners of the show saying they'd love to get a night out for all of the viewers to get together with me and just have a night out, you know. And so it was organised, and really all it should have been maybe some self DJing and one singer or something. I mean, we'll do like a wee sort of a small get together, but it soon came clear that's not what the people wanted. The people wanted a big night out, and I think you'll all agree that that's what he's got, a big night out. It was a phenomenal success last year in the PD. Obviously it was originally booked for Beckett's Complex, because at the time we booked it, that was the only place I could get, because we were sort of still in the middle of the pandemic. A lot of the bars that I would normally use were closed. They weren't taking any bookings on for functions, so gladly I was able to move it to the PD club, and it worked out the best for everybody. It was a great night, albeit there was a few wee issues with the bar and stuff that were ironed out in the end, but maybe shouldn't have happened, but it did, you know. So I sort of but the vibe we got last year from most of the people who come to the event after speaking to us, all people that travel from England and Scotland and the south come up, they were saying this, look, we're here for the weekend anyway, would you not do a whole weekend event instead of just one night this year? And I was like, geez, that's a big commitment, because at the end of the day, the Rebel podcast as a whole, Rebel Sundays, the Big Fans Gathering, it's one person, it's me, that does everything. And for one person to sort of, I hold down 2 jobs, my family life as well, and to try and juggle all that there, and then put like a 2-night event on, of the magnitude that it ended up was going to be. It was a big ask to do, so it was. But I took it on. I said, yep, this is what the people want, I'm going to do this. So, originally I wanted to have it in the same venue as last year. I put in proposals to them, what I wanted to do, and just they obviously just did not want to do it. So didn't. For one reason or another. Well, I don't know any of the reasons, but that's what happened anyway, which was a shame. So I had to start looking at other venues, and sort of got a bit of a brainwave and said, well, listen, look, last year, most of the people that came to the event last year that stayed over were staying at the Balmoral, which is a local hotel. And I thought, Jesus, that'd be a perfect venue for the Big Fans Gathering. I've DJ'd in there so many times, done weddings, done Republican functions in there many times, and it's a cracking venue, it's a cracking big hall. I says, I've nothing to lose here, so I sent a few emails off to the events team, explained to them what I wanted to do, told them what dates I wanted, and after we were going back and forth, and they agreed and said, yep, management, look, this year, this would be great for us, we'd love to have it, so we would. Yep, so you can basically have the 2 nights, 2nd and 3rd December in the Grand Ballroom. Happy days, it was all arranged. As far as I was concerned, yep, we dotted the I's, crossed the T's, everything was sorted. So I explained to them, I says, it'll be the end of March, I'm going to be starting to promote it. So well, obviously I was doing the tour with Clover, and I didn't want to start promoting the Big Fans Gathering until we were finished that there. So a couple of weeks ago, I went full tilt, started advertising the gig. And that was all good. So it was, the tickets were going absolutely phenomenal, going great. A lot better than I thought they would have been for the first sort of week or so. But I think people were really buying into this event. People really wanted to go, so they did. I was noticing they were coming from all over the place. The tickets were getting sold from. It was getting inquiries from all over the place, people wanting to go and asking about hotels and all and stuff. And it was going great. I thought this is going to sell out. It's going to go really, really well. And then so they got the phone call on Friday, so was it last Friday, I think, or the week before, to say from the Balmoral. Firstly, so a few weeks before this year, I got an email from the Balmoral Hotel to say, listen, look, our apologies, we can't give you the main room now. We took a double booking that night, and there's a show on, they need the main room because they need their stage for the middle of the floor. Our apologies and all, blah blah blah. I said, right, okay, we'll give you our other 2 rooms to turn into one big room. It's a similar capacity. I was like, okay, we can work with that there. I was happy enough, no problem, we'll do that there. Right, so that was okay. And then obviously got the phone call from the events team last week to say, I think this here coincided with, I put a paid Facebook ad on, so that, and more or less to try and get a bit more coverage for the event. So people that would normally watch my show or view my page would have seen the paid ad, and may have sold a few more tickets, got more interest in it. So I think this is what kicked this all off then. So the girl from the events team had told me that one of their directors had seen the ad. Obviously you've all seen the ad. It's a poster, has tricolours on it. Basically says exactly what it says in the tin. It's a rebel night, all rebel bands. It's going to be rebel music sung all night. No bones about it. He's, or she, I don't know who, I was just told it was one of the directors seen this here, and they were not happy at all. Basically saying that that's not the type of event we want in our hotel. We have a cross-community ethos, which fair play to them, 100%. I completely understand that there. And basically that their event there on the same night, we're going to have people that maybe from the different side of the community will be at this event. And I'll not tell you what I was told by them, by the hotel, but basically saying that the music that was going to be sung on the night would not go down too well, and the people that was going to the event, the songs they were singing and the rudeness would not go down well, and they didn't want their other guests who were at this other event to have to interact with us here or hear all this here. So they're very sorry, but they were pulling the plug on the event, and this was just a major kick in the chest for me. So it was like it was just like I was having a pretty bad day at work, and I couldn't get any worse after hearing this news. And it was just like my head was going in overdrive, going like, nah, I have to start looking at different venues. Where can I get in West Belfast that has a similar sized hall, like that'll take the same amount of people. I started ringing around, looking around, and I said in the post, I've played in every bar in this road. I know most of all the managers of all the bars in this road. I've done it long enough. So the one venue that I sort of thought that would suit that the event for the event would have been the Deadnish with their big ballroom, and but straight away I said to myself, there's no way it can be held there. And you'll probably go, well, why not? What's that all about? So I mean, you all know the big Celtic Mania event that takes place in the Deadnish every year. It's always in the end of November, which would have been about 3 weeks before my event would have happened. At their event is run by Ernie, a flute band, right? So obviously it's a band I played in for many years. It's a fundraiser for the band, and so basically if I had approached them and the venue and said I want to do this here, that actually they probably would have given it to me. But it would have meant me going up against Ernie, a flute band, advertising my gig, them's advertising their gig. It wouldn't have worked out for them, it wouldn't have worked out for me, and I think we all would have sort of lost out. And I just didn't want to do that there, especially because I have so much respect for the band that was in them for so long, and I wouldn't do that to the band or the members or the ones that run it. I think it'd be a pretty shitty thing to do. So that was that place out of the question. So then I started looking at other venues on the road, and then the problem being there isn't another venue of that capacity, so there isn't. I then started sort of saying to myself, well, if I do have it at this venue here, I'll have to reduce the capacity. If I reduce the capacity, I'm going to have to reduce the bands in the lineup, because to pay for all the bands originally on the original lineup, I need to have 270, 300 people in the hall to justify paying the bands that I had booked for both nights. But if I went and then booked a hall that had 150, 170 capacity, I wouldn't be able to pay. It wouldn't have worked out. I wouldn't be able to pay the bands, so I would have cut bands. Then you go, well, if I do this here, who do you cut? You can't say the one band I'm cutting Nugents, but not the other ones. It wasn't really fair, you know. That was all playing on my mind. And then so I said to myself, well, if this thing's going to happen, I'm going to have to do it like that there. That's I'll have to just take that decision when it comes to it. Then when I started looking at these other venues, talking to them, I was told, well, hold on a second, right? Why did the venue last year not want it back again? Well, what happened there? There were fights or something, whatever. No, there was no fights, definitely not. Well, it was in the Balmoral. Why did they suddenly pull out of it for? That's a big thing to happen. Why did they explain to them? I don't know. So basically, I'm made to look like somebody that's incapable of running an event of this sort of scale, you know, and made to look sort of as if like something you ran, there must have been trouble at it, or these venues wouldn't have been pulling out of it, you know. And that is definitely not the case. I think a few things were against me, and then so obviously all the PMs and texts started coming through going, what about this venue, what about this? I think every venue in Belfast was named, and there's venues in Scotland were named, there's venues in the south that were named, there's venues in all of different parts of the north that were named. And look, to move it out of Belfast and West Belfast, for me, there's never a goer. It just wasn't. going to be viable for me to do that there, you know, especially because it's me and my own running it. And so at the end of the day, it seemed like everything was up against me. Everything, there was a lot of sort of obstacles put in the way, and I just sort of took the decision to say, listen, look, for this year, we're going to stop it. We're going to just cancel it. Maybe look at it again next year on a smaller scale or whatever, and maybe get a different venue. But this time this year, and I thought about it before posting it and saying, listen, yep, I've made a decision. I have to do this here. And in the whole, the majority of people who bought tickets and stuff were very, very understanding. I think a lot of people understood where it was coming from. I wasn't in the wrong here. But I feel like I'm the wrong here, sort of, because I've let so many people down. I feel like I've let my friends and family down for this year event. I feel like I've let all the supporters of the show down. The bands who I booked, I feel like I've let them down. They've possibly lost gigs in them same dates, all because I didn't go further enough to try and keep the gig going. Didn't make enough of an effort to keep the gig going. And folks, that's all I thought about for this last week. So all from through my head this last week, and that's why I'm putting this video out today, because I said to myself, I need to let people know exactly what has happened here, because it's all been running through my head, and it's really playing on me, annoying me, so it is. So I've heard people saying, oh, you pulled out of it too quickly, you dropped your balls, you bloody you this and that, and I think people just don't understand what goes in to run an event like this here. And unless everything's going to plan, it's certain obstacles start going your way, and if you can't get around them obstacles, then it's very, very hard to do something like this here. And at the end of the day, if the Palmar Hotel had not pulled the plug on this here, this event would still have been being advertised now, and we'll be looking forward to it on the 2nd and 3rd of December. So, I mean, I still think they have made a wrong choice here, so do. I think it could have been done a lot better than the way it was done. I'm looking back on it now. But listen, it is what it is. The decision was made by Emmons. They've made their bed, they have to sleep in it now. So that's all I'm going to say, folks. And again, I'm very sorry for everybody that's bought tickets. Hopefully you'll have your refunds within the next week. All of the refunds that we've went through, I've been checking the system that goes through the refunds, and I'm hoping some are still pending. I'm hoping they will all be through the next week. Anybody that booked rooms or flights, I'm hoping you haven't lost money in the rooms, or if you've got flights or whatever, or ferries, you can maybe change the dates to them, or the different location, whatever it is, and hopefully you won't lose out financially. That's the big thing that I'm worried about here. That's where I say I've let people down, folks. So all I can say is my apologies, and I just hope you have faith in me. If I do say do another event like this here again, this will stay with me, and you'll have faith in me once again to run with it and support it. But for this year, it's the big fans gathering it's a no. So my apologies, folks. So I say, listen, I will be back on the air next Sunday on the 10th of April with Liam Lappin. Hopefully you haven't all ditched me, you haven't all got too pissed off of me, and hopefully I'll see us all on the show next week, and we can get back doing what I love doing every Sunday. So folks, cheers and thanks for listening. This was only about the last 5 minutes, but it's turned into 25 minutes, so apologies. Cheers.